What's up, guys? The Royal Rumble is in the books. This is the Top Rope Nation podcast here from topropepress.com. I am Ryan Drosty, host of the show as always, and I'm joined here by three guests tonight to talk WWE Royal Rumble, and we might hit on NXT TakeOver a little bit as well. So joining me tonight, number one, is my co-host for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Justin Joint is in the house. Justin, welcome to the show. And
Thank you for having me.
And I also got topropepress.com's own Jack Snodgrass, feature writer extraordinaire, in the house. Jack, what's up?
Happy to be here.
And joining us for the very first time from the Oversell podcast, we've got Derek. What's up, Derek?
What is up? And just before we get there, it's Schropel. If you want to try to say my last name,
Derek Schropel. See, I didn't want to butcher it. I thought before the show, I'm like, I'm going to ask him how to say it, and I forgot. And so right now, as I'm introducing you, I'm like, I'm just going to call him Derek.
Derek's fine.
my last name is Drosty, so I get that a lot too, man.
I got you. Well, thank you for having me on. Really excited to talk to you guys.
Yeah, so Royal Rumble. I don't know what you guys thought. I thought it was an awesome show right up until the Rumble itself, and I got a lot to talk about. I got a lot to get off my chest as it relates to the Rumble match itself. But before that, I'm not sure about the pre-show because 2 hours, it was kind of hit or miss. But the main show, I thought was excellent. Justin, I'm going to go to you first. I mean, what was your reactions overall? If you had to grade this show A through F, what would you give it?
1 through 7 for matches. An A. The Rumble, as per the last 8 years, was disappointing. But overall, it was fun. It was an easy watch for it being how long it was.
Yeah, I agree. Derek, where are you at here tonight?
Overall, great card. And the Rumble itself had a lot of great, memorable moments. But, man, a match is only as good as its finish. And one side note I'm going to bring up, I want to find the clock that the WWE uses when they time these entrances, because I was actually timing a lot of them, and only 4 or 5 were 2 minutes. Other ones were a minute and a half. There were some that were 2.5 minutes. I think there was one that was almost the 3 minutes. What's kind of clock is Vince running here? Just go out there whatever you want to. We'll just get it done that way.
I actually did that one year. I actually was a huge nerd, and I got out a stopwatch and I was timing them, and yeah, they never lined up at all to what the actual time was.
I mean, I get it when you don't want the focus to be taken off Braun Strowman when he's eliminating Big Show, but as soon as his 2 feet hit, there was instantly someone new was coming to the ring.
Yeah. Jack, first impressions of the show tonight.
I thought it was a great show, easily an A. I think it was really encouraging to see that they could actually put SmackDown and Raw on the same show, and it felt nice. It was coherent the whole way, and really each match really kind of maxed out what it could have been. And the Rumble was, people are going to bitch about how it ended with Orton winning, but they advanced a lot of stories, I felt like, but it just may happen to be stories that not too many people are excited about, but they did get extra layers. So basically the movie gets thicker, but it may be getting worse too.
Yeah, we talked about on the preview show we did last week for the Rumble and kind of where they were headed for WrestleMania, and you could see the storylines coming together tonight for sure. And a lot of the matches that we talked, when Reigns and Taker had their interaction there when Taker was eliminated, you can see they're going towards that at WrestleMania for sure, whether you're excited about it or not. Yeah,
I have a boiling hot take on Undertaker. I don't know if you want to wait till we get to that. I don't want to hijack the show. You just let me know, and I'll hit go.
Let's keep it simmering so that we can keep our viewers tuned in. You guys, you got to wait to get Snodgrass's hot take on the Undertaker if you want to hear it. Let's begin with that. Let's see, the Raw Women's title opened the show, right? Charlotte and Bayley, and I don't know about you guys. I thought it was a little bit sloppy. Early on, there was a couple blown spots where Bayley went up in the corner, went to the outside, and then she got back in the ring.
Yeah,
awkward.
That was awkward.
Mm-hmm.
There was another point where I think Bayley was going to come off the top, and then she had to get repositioned, and then she went off again or something. There was just a few weird transitions in the match, but overall, I thought it was decent. I didn't expect Bayley to win. I didn't think Bayley should win here. But what did you think of the match, Derek?
I thought it was good, and there's one thing I noticed in it. Charlotte put Bayley in a figure four, and don't see a lot of wrestlers do this these days. But she tried to use the ropes as leverage while the ref wasn't looking, and that seems to me like a lost art in professional wrestling. Like, I miss the good old days when you put an abdominal stretch on someone, and when the ref wasn't looking, you got a good hold on the ropes, and it allowed the face to sell a little more. And I thought that was good by Charlotte, and they should have had that go on for a couple of minutes. But for what it was a good match, and Bayley's going to get her moment, I think, this year at Mania, so it's going to lead up to something.
Yeah, for sure. Justin, what do you got?
The natural selection to finish it was awesome, but it seemed to have come out of nowhere. It's like like somebody was on the mic saying, "All right, let's wrap it up." And they're like, "All right, Bayley, fall off the top rope. We're going to do this now." but other than that, it was good. I'm curious. Was Bayley's jacket that she came out to, was that like a throwback to a vintage Warrior or a vintage Macho jacket?
I think it was totally a vintage Macho.
Yeah, it was just like those early '90s jackets that they used to sell. I think they're actually bringing those back, like on the shop WWE shop right now. You can get some of those old school jackets. Yeah,
like old starter jackets.
Oh man, right. I'd love if they brought back starter jackets. Just to put that out there.
Funny you should mention that, Derek. A couple weeks ago, I was at my parents' house, and I'm like, "Do you guys have my old Chicago Bulls starter jacket?" And they're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Seriously, they're coming back. Do you still have them?" And I was like looking through the closet and stuff, and they're like, "No, I'm pretty sure we sold that at like a yard sale or something."
Just lost out on like $500.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So, Jack, what did you think of the opener?
I thought it was fine. I think it's just pronounces. Again, that Charlotte is just by a long shot, the best woman they have going right now. I mean, she just very far ahead of everyone else, I think. And that also happens to help that she wins every time she fights. But I thought it was a good match. Definitely a cool nod to the old school heel thing. Bobby Roode is certainly doing a whole lot of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. When Charlotte has the title, I feel like the world's a better place. So I'm cool. I'm just cool with this.
Hey, so my Twitter feed blew up, and I think I agree with it. Bayley has a better top rope elbow than CM Punk. Is that going
no
to
doubt, dude. CM Punk's top rope elbow is messy, bro.
I would agree with that.
Me too.
Is that what?
All right, well, that's
busted open Charlotte? That elbow, is that what busted open her mouth?
I was wondering. I was going to ask you guys that, because on the replay, it didn't really look like that was where it happened to me, but they kept showing it. It looked like she hit her a little lower, but I don't know where else it would have happened. When that happened, I thought that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about.
Maybe she bought a blood capsule from Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
As long as it wasn't an Adderall capsule. Oh, yeah. I said it. Yeah.
Man, yeah, I have no idea where it happened, but it was messy, and I like the way Charlotte played it up, though. She did a good job improvising with like licking the blood and wiping her blood really slowly, being really theatrical about it. It was
she's terrible. She's awful. It's the best.
Yeah,
yep, she is the best. Absolutely.
She should hold it till WrestleMania and drop it then. So I was not disappointed with the match itself. Also, by the way, I jotted this down in my notes. There was a crowd shot during this match where there was a woman wearing a shirt that said "FNA bro, I want that T-shirt."
That's got to be. That has to be a Matt Riddle thing.
It was awesome.
I saw that shirt. I didn't know who it was in reference to. Was that Matt Riddle?
Could be.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it before either.
There's actually a funny shot of where they got Tyler Bate last night, or the Saturday night at NXT TakeOver. And if you look over his shoulder, you see Matt Riddle just with a big old beer, like, "Yo, bro!" Like, just perfect timing.
Oh man, that's great. So I was telling Justin, Matt Riddle's wrestling here and where we live this summer, so we have to go see him live.
Oh, please, yeah, you have to.
Yeah, I have not seen him yet. I've read a lot. I've watched him a lot, obviously, and he's coming along quicker than nearly anyone in the history of the business. Maybe Kurt Angle would have something to say about that, but.
Charlotte.
Yeah. Angle I was hoping to see at the Rumble, but no such luck. We'll get to that.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, we'll wait till the Rumble itself. So that led off the show, and then we had Owens and Reigns right away in the second match. I was pretty shocked that happened this early. But I thought this was a great match. In my geeky star category, I gave it 4.25 stars. Watching it, it was the only. I have a really trivial criticism of this match, and the same thing for the WWE Championship match later. In both matches, the champion came out first. And I don't know if anyone caught that, but I'm old school. I like the champion to come out second. But in both cases, Reigns came out second, Cena came out second. So I thought that was a little odd. But the match itself, I thought rivaled Cena and Styles. We'll get to that one. But both matches delivered, I thought. I thought this match was really creative, lots of good spots. It was one of those matches that gets you up off your seat. You're not sure when the finish is going to happen, which as a wrestling fan, that's what you want. And yeah, I thought the frog splash through the table obviously was a highlight. I'm sure you guys would say the same thing. I did not see the interference from Strowman coming whatsoever. Jack, what do you think about this match?
Man, for as much hatred as there is out there for Roman Reigns, that guy hasn't had a bad pay-per-view match in like 3 years.
Amen.
So yeah, he's been at the top of the card like perpetually, but he's never really let down. The only time we're let down is when he wins. But this match was incredible. It was brutal. Like what they put their bodies through was kind of almost tough to watch. You fell for him, especially because they had that close-up on Owens for like a minute and a half after he went through that pyramid of chairs. But yeah, I thought it was a fantastic match. I really enjoyed it. I kind of think I enjoyed it more than Cena Styles, just because I feel like Cena and Styles was so great at SummerSlam, and like I don't know if my expectations got all out of whack, but I thought the Reigns KO was fantastic, and even with Strowman interfering, no one saw that coming, and now I'm confused why that even happened, because it doesn't look like he's really going to be involved with Roman Reigns. So that was kind of weird, but I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens with KO.
Yeah, Derek, what's up? What do you think?
The one thing I loved, for those that don't know, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and they used to actually do these kind of matches at the Mid-South Coliseum. And one thing they did was whenever the guy got hoisted up, he was dropping chains down. He was dropping brass knuckles. And I love the fact that Jericho, they're smart enough to give him brass knuckles to drop down to Reigns. And I love that spot. Kevin Owens selling like he does. I don't think anyone sells in the WWE like Kevin Owens does. And tomorrow night, he'll probably be coming out with a limp or something to adjust the crowd. And it was a great, brutal, hard-hitting match, and for like a Memphis guy like me, it brought me back to the Mid-South Coliseum in a way.
I loved the brass knuck spot too. I thought that was awesome. The whole kicking out of a brass knuck shot, though, maybe an argument can be made that might be a little insane. At the time, I was like, "Oh, he kicked out of that." But yeah, I love. It's been a long time since we've seen brass knucks in wrestling.
Yeah, since Regal, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time. So that was great. Justin, where were you at on this match?
It was excellent. The frog splash through the table and through Reigns' face was great. There's no way I could rate it higher than Cena Styles, though, just because of the Strowman interference. That kind of took away from it, especially because, as Jack brought up, it doesn't look like there's going to be anything going on there with Reigns and Strowman. Definitely looks like it's going to be Reigns and Undertaker going into WrestleMania. But awesome match. Owens is the best, and hopefully he keeps the title until WrestleMania.
I mean, they could have a one-off at Fastlane? Is that the Raw pay-per-view between now and Mania?
Yeah,
that's probably what we're looking at.
Oh man, Reigns is gonna get fed, Strowman, then Undertaker. That's unbelievable.
I mean, I don't know where else they would go with that. I agree with you though. Like at the end of the show, you're thinking, what was the point of that? It was really unexpected.
They could have like the lowest velocity triple threat match of all time.
Thoughts on Owens using the stunner?
I loved
Hilarious.
it.
I popped so hard for that.
I honestly, I'm having a really hard time if I had to pick match of the night between this and Cena Styles. The people I had watching the show with me seemed to like Owens Reigns more.
It was more gimmicky though. So I mean,
certainly.
For people that aren't diehard wrestling fans, I think they would definitely go with that match.
Yeah, I think if push came to shove, I would probably take Cena Styles, but just barely. They were both awesome matches.
Ooh, I might have a small hot take on that.
One of my buddies is a huge John Cena hater. I'm sure Justin knows who I'm talking about. My buddy Tim. He was here. He'll probably be watching this on tape delay. He was not happy with the finish of that match. So I think
Tim, you're a hater.
So yeah. Derek, you don't know this. Me and Justin, we live in the same town, so we watch shows together sometimes.
Okay.
That's kind of
Great. Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I really like Cena Styles. We'll get to it. But before we get to that, the cruiserweight match. So we talked about on the pre-Rumble show, we were all pretty much on the same page. This could be match of the night if they were given time. I know Jack felt pretty strongly about that. I know I saw his tweet from him tonight about it. At Cheeky Jabbers. That's Jack. They got what, about 10 minutes?
Something like that. I mean,
14 minutes?
Yep.
I mean, I think every self-respecting wrestling fan knew that wasn't going to be match of the night, but I'm trying to start a grassroots movement because those guys are really, really talented. And, I think Neville being in the division is going to stabilize it a little bit and help them out because for the most part, just a bunch of people that the casual fans just don't know who they are. So, and they may not even know who Neville is, but I think it's a little more gratifying him winning. It wasn't match of the night. It was still a good match, and I guess you can just hope that they get a little momentum from it. Yeah.
The crowd, on the other hand, during this match left a little bit to be desired. Justin, we were texting during this one. And your thoughts?
Man, this was a really good match. And I follow people on Twitter who were at the event, and they're taking pictures. As soon as they started changing out those ropes, people saw the purple going up. Boom, they're going to the bathrooms, they're going to the concessions. So nobody's there at the beginning. Crowd is dead silent. And, maybe they're filling back up later, but by then they're only halfway in the match. It was a really good match, and just nobody cared about it.
Yeah, they were in an unenviable spot because it came after the great Owens-Reigns match. So there's always going to be that natural thing where the crowd's coming down a little bit after a great match like that. But they were noticeably for a crowd that was great most of the show, they were really, really dead for this bout. And Derek, what were your impressions of the cruiserweight?
So I've gotten to do this a couple times when I've gone to wrestling shows here in Memphis, but they have, and this is, I probably will never get invited back to do it, but the WWE has what they call seat fillers. And for that match, I felt bad for the people that were probably there as seat fillers because they got moved around a lot from having to get up and fill the seats of people who are getting beer and stuff like that. So I probably just screwed myself at getting a seat filling gig again, but if you don't know they do it, well, you do now.
I honestly did not know that.
Yeah, so I'll give you. I can tell you how it works. We get there a little early before the show. We meet with this guy. His name is Steve, and you get into the show for free. They give you a wristband, and what this guy does is he has a director in his ear, tells him, "Hey, I've got empty seats here, here, and here," and these people that go to the show for free get moved into these spots just to cover people while they go get a beer, while they go get something to eat, or if they're late or something like that. So that while where the camera is shooting all night, it looks like a full arena. So there's a little insight into how the WWE does things at their shows.
Wow. Are these guys all ex-CIA, retired CIA people?
No, a lot of them, here in Memphis, there's a lot of people that work for the Memphis Grizzlies since they do it the place where the Grizzlies play. So if you get in with wherever your local sportatorium is in your city, if you get in good with some of their people, you can get on that seat filling list.
Interesting.
So
Justin,
I felt bad.
We gotta look into this.
Yeah, I'm in.
I felt bad for the seat fillers because I know they're probably getting pulled around a lot just because the cruiserweight match, which I thought was a good match too. I was impressed. I love Neville and I love Swan, and I think the whole cruiserweight division is working hard as hell right now.
Well, and the pre-match promo was fantastic too. It got me hyped for the match, and then man, just to hear nothing but silence during it was a bummer.
Yeah, when you're in the Alamo Dome seating 50,000 people, this big cavern of an arena, and it's dead like that, it's really noticeable. And it was too bad because those guys worked really hard. Thought it was a really good match, but yeah, it is what it is. What do you guys think is the reason the cruiserweight division just hasn't caught on the main roster? What do you think is the biggest reason why?
Because I keep calling it 405 Live on the podcast.
That's the Mark Henry division.
There's not
I'd watch it.
there's not many names a casual fan is going to know in 205 Live. If you could somehow got Rey Mysterio back, just a few big names. I think Gargano and Ciampa need to come up and join 205 Live just to help them get some more recognition there as well.
Don't they have Tajiri somewhere hidden away?
He got hurt at a NXT show not too long ago.
Oh man, bummer. I think it's just, well, aren't they kind of handcuffed a little bit, their moveset that WWE?
Yeah. If you look at WCW cruiserweights, they were flying everywhere, and now that, not taking away anything from their work, but these are just solid wrestlers on the card that can go out and put on great matches for fans like you and I that's going to love to see technical wrestling. But I mean, if you look at the old WCW cruiserweights, I mean, these guys were flying and doing crazy stuff all over the place. And when you can't do that, what can you sell?
Yeah.
Well, that's like Rollins and Zayn had a better cruiserweight match than all the cruiserweights on Monday.
Very true. Yeah, I mean, if you watch the tournament last summer, they were working a whole different style. When they got brought up to the main roster, it was like they were told to tone it down, and there's nothing that separates them from the rest of the show. I felt like when they brought these guys up, they did, for a company that's so good at putting together video packages, you'd think that they could have put together something a little more meaningful for some of these people to make them aware of who they are. I mean, they kind of just assume people watch the WWE network. But if you do the math on how many people actually subscribe versus the typical Raw audience, it's such a small number that I don't think they should be assuming that. I mean, that's one of the biggest problems with it.
Another problem they have is filming after SmackDown. That I think that's a huge detriment to what they're doing because people are still getting up and leaving. If you wanted, I mean, imagine walking in and you see, walking into arena to get to your seat, and while you're walking down, you see Jack Gallagher and Drew Gulak having a match. I mean, you finally start getting into it just a little bit, but if you're a 2-hour show, you're bored, you're tired, you're ready to get home, and then there's another hour of wrestling to watch. I mean, that's hard to do.
I think they should put some distance in between it and its normal WWE programming. Like almost like not as heavy-handed. Just like, oh yeah, that's one of our affiliates too. You like that? That's great. Because right now, there's just not a whole lot of place for them. And anytime those purple ropes come up, it's just the WWE signifying to the casual fan that you can turn the channel now.
I can agree with that.
Get rid of the purple ropes and let them wrestle like cruiserweights.
Yeah.
Easy fix.
I can't believe they're still taping after SmackDown. I thought that would last 2 or 3 weeks and they'd figure it out.
Yeah, for the seat fillers, we were required to stay for that too. So we had to stay through SmackDown and that extra hour 205 Live, and then they had a dark match after that. It's like, man, fuck this dark match. I got to get out of here.
I don't know why WWE found it so necessary to do this, because they clearly don't need this. I guess it's like Vince McMahon or whoever else is making these decisions. It's like, oh, you want to see high flying wrestling? I'll give you high flying wrestling. Damn it! Like, we'll do it better than anyone.
Yeah, well, I mean, you think about when they do a show on the East Coast and SmackDown goes till 10 o'clock and they're a product that caters themselves to kids. I mean, like, what parent's going to say, oh yeah, let's stick around and watch all these guys we've never even heard of? Cena's already been out, Ambrose has been out. That's why everyone leaves. It makes no sense. There's no purpose in going live when they can air it on tape delay 2 hours.
Okay, what else? Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just what else doesn't make sense is this Royal Rumble crowd. These are the biggest of fans going to this venue. How are these people not cheering for that match? Because all of us love these guys. We want to see a great match. We liked it. Why aren't they cheering?
Yeah,
it's purple ropes. It's just the purple ropes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking at making Rumble a destination weekend for like the hardcore wrestling fans. So you would think, I mean, the people I was watching with, most of them had never seen Jack Gallagher before. And if you listen to the podcast, I love Jack Gallagher. So when he came out with the umbrella, I was just singing his praises. And by the time he had all those spots in the match, like everyone I was watching with was like, this guy is awesome. Like, yeah, exactly.
What was the Saturday morning show that the WWE tried to do? What was it? Saturday Morning Slam or something like that? Like, seems like 205. They're trying to do the same thing, but even in a worse way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I want to see it succeed really bad. I loved the cruiserweight tournament last summer, but it's just not working right now. They gotta shake it up. So that brings us to Cena Styles, and I'm guessing some hot takes are gonna start here. But the match itself, awesome match. I mean, there is nobody better in the world than AJ Styles right now, and John Cena, even as a part-time guy, can come back and have matches like this. To me, the guy AJ Styles, he's carried the company on his back basically for the last 6 months, at least on the Blue brand. He's been the top performer in the company, and I wanted to see him have his moment to go into WrestleMania as champion, even though I knew it probably wasn't going to happen. So I was disappointed he didn't win. I was hoping that Samoa Joe would come out, cost Cena the match, and go into a feud with John Cena. So that didn't happen, obviously. We didn't get Joe in the Rumble, which was disappointing to me. And, it's really hard to be mad about the result because Styles has beat Cena twice. And it's like, do you really think he's going to beat him a third time without Cena going over? So I don't know. I wasn't that disappointed. I would have liked to seen Styles win, but the match itself was awesome. So I can't complain too much, I guess. Jack, where are you at?
The match was great. Although I'm just a spoiled bastard, but I don't know. I feel like I've seen so many people flip out of the AA that I just like, oh my God, here we go again. It's happened because Rollins did it all the time and Styles does it. But I shouldn't even delete that part because this match was great. Like I shouldn't have any detractions really. It was fantastic. And look, man, I mean, they're going to WrestleMania. The writing's on the wall. Like AJ Styles is champion. That was, going to be a temporary thing. As good as he was. Like, think about it. If you're WWE, you're like, okay, we got WrestleMania, and WrestleMania is about making more money. So if we want to make more money in WrestleMania, who should be champion? John Cena or AJ Styles? And that's why John Cena is champion right now.
Yeah, but you know what? If AJ Styles really wrestles Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, you're going to want to tune into this podcast for the next 2 months because I'm going to be ranting my ass off about how ridiculous that is. And that looks like where they're going. Derek, what were your thoughts on the match?
Tying a record like Ric Flair's, it deserved, I think, so much more than what it was. I mean, I would have had Ric Flair there either. To me, how I would have booked it is John Cena's about to win. Ric Flair comes out, causes a distraction because he doesn't want that 16-time record tied or broken. And there was just not enough fanfare for it for me after John Cena won. This should have been a big firework moment. There should have been graffiti falling all over the place, make it a real deal. I mean, tying a record that stood for how many years with Ric Flair, and that's all they got for it. I mean, it didn't seem like the moment was big enough for Royal Rumble to me.
If Luger can get all the confetti for beating Yokozuna, or not even beating Yokozuna in 1993, how did he win that match? By
it was a count out, I think, right?
Yeah, they act like we won World War II or something.
I mean, well, look at when Daniel Bryan finally won when he won at WrestleMania. It was a moment, and that you could have done that with John Cena and breaking what a lot of people thought was probably going to be an unbreakable record with what Ric Flair did, and they just, okay, yeah, you're a 16-time champion now. Congratulations.
He still has to break it. They can reserve the rights to that moment. So, but they didn't even mention it in the pre-match build-up, really. So I thought that was kind of.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of shocked at the result, even though going in, like I thought Cena would probably win, but then it's like, well, they haven't really pushed the whole 16-time thing the last couple of weeks. So when they backed off of that, I thought, well, maybe we are headed to like a interference finish where somehow Styles is going to retain. And also, you could have had the club help him out, right? I mean, it's a dual brand pay-per-view. That was an angle I thought they might take. So yeah. The reason I was so shocked is because, like you guys said, they backed off of the whole 16-time Ric Flair thing, and it still happened, and it wasn't that big of a deal to him, I guess. Go ahead.
That's exactly right. I had another point, and I thought it was going to be a really good point, but then I forgot it. So.
That's how it goes when you're live on YouTube.
There's a 6 spot when John Cena hit an AA, did like a fireman's roll through, and hit another one. I'm not a big John Cena guy, but that was a hell of a spot. I thought that was a great way to end the match.
I like that too. Justin, what were your thoughts on the the SmackDown title match?
First off, I agree with you that I was hoping AJ would carry it through WrestleMania. I thought he deserved that. As far as the AA goes, that has been a watered down move for quite a while. But in its defense, it did take 4 of them, one of them being a top rope AA to take down.
4.
Yeah. Here's my hot take. That is the best John Cena match of all time.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. I can agree to it.
SummerSlam match.
I think it was better than the CM Punk match.
Yeah.
Wow.
For one, AJ Styles greater than CM Punk.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Better build up. Well, nope, I take that back. Not
No
a better
way,
build up.
dude.
Not
No
a better.
way.
No, I take that back.
Delete that. Cut that out.
Yeah. But it played off the other matches. There was a lot of great back and forth. The trading of submissions was awesome. The fact that it took 4 AAs, the rolling AA that Derek mentioned, was incredible. It was great.
I'm not sure if I'd put this one above the SummerSlam match or not. The SummerSlam match is really, really good. It's close, though. I'll give you that for sure. It is very close.
The thing about the SummerSlam match is that I don't think anyone expected AJ Styles to beat John Cena cleanly. We figured it would be a great match and it would finish how it finished tonight, like, 9 AAs and Styles loses. But the Punk match, bro, I mean, the context of that match is so juicy with the backstory of Punk leaving, Punk not leaving. I know a lot of that was unwritten into the storyline, or actually they kind of exploited that. But this was a great match, but I don't know if I can't put it there, man.
If you rewatch the Cena Punk, it's a little bit sloppier than this one was, in my opinion.
If you put Colt Cabana in the front row for this match, then maybe. But without Colt, I don't know, man. It's close. No, it was a great match though. I'm like 4.5 stars on this one probably. It was good stuff. I really liked the transition in the match where Cena had the STF on and then AJ put it on, because one of my biggest pet peeves with John Cena is how his STF is horrible, just terrible. Never looks good. And then when AJ put it on, I'm like, that's how you do it. That's how you do an STF. So, and then I like the roll through like you guys talked about. Disappointed a little bit, but
there was those moments when he was starting to flex up, getting ready for those clotheslines and nailing those like really stiff. And I was like, wait, are they doing the heel turn here or the double switch?
I thought the exact same thing. That was total like heel mannerisms. I thought the same thing.
Was it just me, or did Cena look like he had a surprised look on his face when he actually applied a figure 4 correctly? I mean, to me, he just looked like, yeah, I got it right the first time. I don't know. It may have just been me and the couple of Scottish ales I had during the.
Guys, I think it's going to be a really long time, maybe not ever again, that AJ Styles is champion in WWE. It may be a long time, because right now, who knows how long Cena's going to hold this belt. But I mean, if the rumors are true that Bray Wyatt's going to be like, he's going to hold it for a little bit. So I don't know, man. He may just have gone to the back of the line, especially if he's going to feud with Shane McMahon. I mean, that's a little sideshow parody in itself.
You might have a 2-week John Cena title reign that you're looking at here.
You think?
You get Elimination Chamber in 2 weeks.
Oh, really? It's that close?
Yeah, so you could have Bray Wyatt win in 2 weeks and then build towards the match with Orton at Mania.
Which is another weird reason for having the switch right now, taking the belt off AJ. It's like, congrats, Cena, you're going to hold it for 2 weeks. Great 16th reign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a 2-week title reign. If that's what happens, I'm not sure it was worth it, but we will see. All right, we've been waiting for it. Jack Snodgrass has a hot take with the Royal Rumble and the Undertaker. We're heading into the Rumble match, so you can just throw it out right now if you want.
If you guys have any Undertaker paraphernalia around or any figurines, please turn them around, because I love the Undertaker, man. I do. But he has had a really nasty de-evolution, like from what he used to be in like 1996. This is like horrible devil person to like biker Taker. Then he had that great WrestleMania run, and now, dude, like I get really, really sad whenever he tries to pretend like he's this MMA fighter. I hate that. But we're just scratching the surface here, dude. Undertaker looked like fucking Jake the Snake Roberts tonight. It was heartbreaking.
You mean that in a bad way, right?
I mean that in the worst way. Yeah, I'm not talking like 1984 Jake Roberts.
So we're talking like beyond the mat Jake Roberts. Like,
I'm talking
man,
like this morning Jake Roberts, dude. And then he takes off his bra straps, man. I'm just like, what? Who okayed this? He looked awful. He looked awful. And like all those poor bastards are jumping out of the fucking gym just to help him choke slam. And like, I mean, his punches, dude, I don't want to see this. And pitting when Roman Reigns came out, like, because they're going shot for shot. They're going Taker, Reigns. I mean, Roman Reigns, like, I got super horny for him. Just like looking at him, I was like, dude, he looks incredible. And like Undertaker is just like, this guy, I don't know. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. Like morally, I'm not going to be like, oh, we should. I mean, I get it. I get that he's going to be in WrestleMania because it's his show. I get that. But it doesn't have to be, man. And he doesn't have to fight Roman Reigns. And just like, he took one spear tonight from Goldberg, didn't he? Or someone.
Brock took a Goldberg spear.
Okay. Taker didn't take a spear?
I don't remember.
I guess I blacked out at that point. I blacked out from after Enzo came out.
It was just, it looks terrible. Like it kind of like how Sting looked when he fought Rollins before he even had that weird like back thing. Like it's just like, this is a matter of time. And I don't want to see it, man. I think it's going to chap a ton of people's ass once Reigns pins Undertaker, first of all. Second of all, it's going to be a horseshit match if Undertaker even finishes it. So it's just like, take out your insurance policies or something. I don't know, man. I don't want to see it. It's just he looks terrible, and I know he may knock on my door and like choke me in my sleep tonight or something. But it's just like, I don't want to see this, dude. I don't want to see it at all.
Well, they, like we talked about on the preview show, they have to turn Reigns at this point, because if they don't, he's the most booed person at WrestleMania by far, and he has to go over Taker, right? Like, how could Reigns lose the Undertaker? 50? Was he 52? Jackson.
I mean, the suspension of disbelief is off the charts. It's off the charts. Like watching him, he was like slaying the ring. He was like cleaning house. It's like, come on, dude. Like no one's buying this. Like people are cheering, but it's almost like, yay, Undertaker. It's almost, I don't know, man. It's almost like kind of watching a kid like play t-ball the first time. He swings and misses like 6 times. You're like, oh, great job. Like you're just trying to make him feel good because you love the guy. But dude,
I was devastated when Reigns came out at 30. And if we indeed get Reigns and Undertaker at WrestleMania, I will be heavily rooting for Roman Reigns to win that match.
It was that was one of the most disappointing 30s in a while, because I'm thinking like, who's going to be the big surprise? Because there really wasn't any good surprise in this Rumble at all.
There was one surprise, Ty Dillinger.
Yeah,
which I popped for, because they actually, I had the strong feeling that Vince was going to have, I'm going to put him in at 11 just because I can. But they put him in at 10. They did what they should have done there. But, what is this infatuation we have to have with Roman Reigns? Why does Vince and Kevin Dunn and all those people think that we have to see Roman Reigns, especially at 30? The one thing I'll give it, he was selling. I can give him that much. He did a little bit of selling. But, come on, you got Joe back there. You could have done, if Nakamura's not knocked into second grade after that bump he took at NXT TakeOver, there's so many other things you could have done, and it was just the boos that rained down. You could hear it as plain as day. Now, it's going to be interesting to see on the repeats if they do anything to drain those boos out, if they do any editing.
I love that.
I bet they don't, because I think they put him at 30 on purpose. They knew that crowd was going to shit all over that.
There was something about that Roman Reigns. I don't know if it was a magic trick because they were juxtaposing him with the Undertaker, so I had no choice but to like have a better physical response to Reigns, but I don't know if he was like told to show a little more attitude or something like that. But it's like I was buying that. I was like, he looks fantastic. So maybe this is finally it. Maybe he gets a little heel run. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're just going to keep him right in between.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe they could be that stupid, but I can't argue with you. It seems like that's the direction they're going to go. But you think about all the things people are hoping for in this Rumble, and then you get down to number 30. And by the way, was Reigns announced as a member of the Royal Rumble ahead of time?
Not that I know.
I didn't think so. So like you're thinking, I know there's a portion of the audience that's like, even though he said he was signing with New Japan, is there a chance it could be Kenny Omega? And I didn't think so, but like,
oh, dude, it was the ultimate troll job. Me and Justin were talking as we were like, oh, number 30 is going to be Samoa Joe, 100%. Like you get the antithesis.
Well, Joe too.
You know why it's smart is because it pisses off all of us, and anybody who already likes Reigns is just going to like him all that much more.
For sure.
They're trolling us. They got us, man, right in the palm of their hands.
That's not how you build. That's not how you build a top baby face, though. That's such a beautiful.
They're not. They're not trying to do that. They're not trying to build a top baby face. They're trying to build a John Cena.
John Cena though was so like over though originally before
for
like
two,
the 50
for like
50
2
stuff.
years.
Yeah, John Cena was organically over with the crowd, and Roman Reigns has never had that, unless you consider maybe with the Shield, but he had 2 other guys. That's the difference to me, Derek.
There was a moment one of my buddies recently showed me where we got really good seats at Raw one night, and there's video of me cheering John Cena. And to this day, it doesn't happen. So there was a point, I guess I like John Cena, but this Rumble was just, it was so, there are so many good spots, like Kofi pretty much impaling himself on a post and able to, if I had done that, I would have been out of breath. I would have said, just get me out of here. But somehow he holds on to the thing, and you get your miraculous Kofi moment. We already talked about Ty Dillinger. I popped really hard when Jericho is number 2 because I know if he's an early entrant, he's going to be in there for a while. And Jericho's also one of my favorite professional wrestlers. And I also had him in a pool we were doing tonight. So I really popped when Jericho came out. But man, it's just, I don't know. I'm not a big Orton guy, and I don't know. Whatever. Orton's going to main event WrestleMania. Great.
Jericho broke Triple H's all-time record for most time in the Royal Rumble tonight.
Awesome.
So you got that.
I got that. Yay.
He was on the outside peeking over the apron. He's on the outside peeking over the apron for like, I don't know how many minutes in the match, but yeah, I thought the same thing with Jericho at number 2. He's going to be in here for like the long haul for sure. And yeah, what did you guys think about? Were you surprised that Goldberg eliminated Lesnar so easily?
Is Brock Lesnar's kryptonite spears? Is that what it is? There's actually, I guess there's a story there. If you go back to his UFC days, taking a spear when you have diverticulitis. I guess they're being consistent with their storytelling, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's got to have something to do with it.
Yeah,
I think you're giving them way too much credit.
I like it though. It's a good continuation of this Goldberg Lesnar story. It's like apparently Goldberg is Lesnar's kryptonite, and obviously Lesnar's gonna get his comeuppance on Goldberg at WrestleMania. Hopefully.
Let's just hope Steve Austin is not the special guest referee for this one.
Oh my God.
Actually, you know what? Now that you said that, I hope he is.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen this match before. I just can't place it. Where?
Tried to black it out.
Yeah. We all did. As wrestling fans. And, it's funny. I don't think they've really called back to that moment since both Goldberg and Brock have both been back either.
No, they pretend like it doesn't exist. 100%.
For good reason.
Got the Chris Benoit treatment.
Yeah.
By the way, we were talking, I might have missed this. I was out of the room and I came back, and one of my friends said they were talking about guys that had won the Rumble from number 1. And I was like, oh, this was when they were doing like the 30 facts or whatever. And I was like, well, of course, HBK and Chris Benoit, right? My friend could have swore that they said Austin. And I was like, no,
I didn't.
Go ahead.
I never heard a second name. They just said only 2 men have ever won from the number 1 spot. One of them being But I'd never heard them mention Chris Benoit.
Yeah, I for sure would not mention Chris Benoit. That never happened in WWE history. No.
The second man, Chris Benoit, famously known for murdering his family.
Yeah.
Well, and who was it? I think one of you guys had the same opinion on me. Just real quick on the Jimmy Snuka stuff, that the video package was just a little too much. And the graphic, I was fine with the graphic, but then they had to play this. Oh, he was such a great guy, and still murdered somebody.
It was still weird.
Yeah, I agree. That was too much. Not necessary. I wanted to ask Derek, though, about The Undertaker, because you being from Memphis, where he kind of originally came up, I'm not sure what your opinion is on Mark Calloway, but what did you think about his appearance in the Rumble tonight?
We knew he was going to be there, so they had to follow through with it. But, man, those guys that were selling for him sure were being generous, because, it's Undertaker, I think, needs to move into somewhat of a speaking role. And one thing I've thought is, if he can't do it anymore, get two guys that can, and that's a great way, and I may get hell for this, but that's a great way to bring the Ascension back to a legitimate level, is have just them being enforcers for the Undertaker. So then he doesn't have to get in the ring and do much. He just has two guys that beat the shit out of anybody that gets in the ring. And I'm sorry for cussing. Can we cuss?
That's fine. We're a mature podcast.
Okay.
We have the M label on iTunes and everything.
But I just, it's time for, maybe if he went back to the Biker Taker, maybe that will revitalize him a little bit more. Give him maybe the bandana and sunglasses and a big Harley. Well, if a big Harley would speed up that entrance a little bit or something. I was highly expecting them just to help him get down the ramp that they didn't have the Undertaker. I was highly expecting them to put him on a hoverboard just to kind of just gracefully roll all the way down to the ring.
See, I hated the Biker Undertaker.
Ryan, I think you and me, we have the same opinions on everything, because I hated the Biker Taker too.
Horrible.
No one liked the Biker Taker. Come on.
I was begging for him to go back to the Dead Man for 2-3 years or whatever it was.
It's funny, when he was in Memphis too, he was doing he was just a cocky bad guy. He wasn't really the Biker Taker per se, but he just had a large dose of arrogance and cockiness to his character that came out in his promos, and he had a little more energy to him. It's real weird if you go back and watch some of the mean Mark Calloway stuff.
Yeah, we'll see where they go with this feud with Reigns, but I gotta say, I am not excited about it whatsoever. not to be too negative here, you guys, but I thought it was a great pay-per-view show. I just thought the Rumble left a lot to be desired.
Which is sad, because I actually popped a lot during the actual Rumble. It was just the end that just kind of, kicked me in the gut. But having Jack Gallagher come out, I was awesome with. Ty Dillinger, especially Baron Corbin eliminating Braun Strowman, I thought was amazing. And even when Baron Corbin and Undertaker started fighting, I was like, ooh, you know what? I want to see that match. Which kind of goes against our entire discussion of Undertaker need to go away. But even Goldberg just disposing of Lesnar, I thought was fantastic. Or babyface Orton winning, and not even having anything to do with Bray Wyatt, which was I hoping was going to be the whole thing. It's okay, Orton wins, but it's going to have something to do with Bray Wyatt. Well, no, not so much. It's just him eliminating Reigns.
That crowd was so disappointed that Randy Orton won.
I couldn't really hear. I had to turn down. They were
just look at their faces as they pan the crowd as they went off the air. It's just nobody's reacting at all. They're just all staring, and he's posing down, and the WrestleMania sign is just
the status quo. That's how it goes to the Rumble, man.
Yeah, that's. Well, Justin was telling, what was it, the last one where the winner of the Royal Rumble actually got a pop was Edge when he returned from injury? Is that right?
Yeah, going into WrestleMania 26.
That's the one where he was in the ring for 7 minutes or whatever, really brief. Yeah.
It's been a shambles since then.
Orton's one of those guys that he's solid in the ring. He's a good worker. I think he's got a shot in the arm from this whole Wyatt family gimmick. But I don't know if we just take him for granted or what, but it's just, I don't know. He's just there.
What's best case scenario for his WrestleMania? Is it Bray? But I feel like that whole moment of Bray winning the championship should be at WrestleMania, not at Elimination Chamber, you know?
For sure, nobody wants to see Cena Orton, right?
And there's probably a couple people, but I think it's like they're related to Vince McMahon. But
Yeah. So best case, I don't know.
Yeah. I really don't know. I was really hoping someone like Strowman would win, just to really throw us on our heels. And I think Strowman eliminating Big Show by himself this year was pretty big deal for his character.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I thought Strowman was used very well in the Rumble, actually. So they've been doing a good job building him up, I think, from his days with Bray.
Yep. That spot with Ellsworth and Ambrose was some good comedic value into the Rumble too, because I thought the WWE may also pull fast with him before the Rumble, and like number 30 would have been James Ellsworth, and he comes down and something. So at least they got him in early enough to where they got a good laugh out of it, and then he was gone.
I thought for sure he was going to be like number 2 and get eliminated right away to start. That was my prediction.
Did anyone notice Carmella's tights?
Yeah, it had his face all over.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, it was like the picture from the T-shirt, but that picture all over her pants. It was pretty funny.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
So, go ahead.
Real quick, I think I'm officially over Enzo and Cass.
Ooh.
I texted Ryan when the AJ Styles and Cena match was starting. I was like, holy crap, looking at the time, we're going to get like an hour here. And then they went for, almost 30 minutes or whatever. And then Big Cass comes out and is like, oh, so this is why we didn't get Cena and Styles for another 10 to 20 minutes, because we have to listen to Enzo and Cass do their usual spiel for the next 10 minutes. It's the same thing over and over again. I'm not down with it.
You didn't like that chicken commercial?
Oh my God. Oh. As a Southern person, I was ashamed of that stupid commercial.
Yeah, that was horrible. It was god awful. I'm agreeing with you. I'm over it too. I think I liked Enzo on the mic for a long time, but he's just so awful in the ring. I think Cass has potential, but like the team itself is just like, yeah, it's kind of worn out its welcome. Kind of like New Day, actually.
Ooh.
Don't worry, Ryan. Big Cass will be shoved down our throats in no time.
Yeah.
I had a decent, maybe it was a horrible idea, but I actually cared enough to tweet about it. But the New Day, Big E and Kofi are relatively. I think you could consider them veterans. If they could have like a triple threat match and have like title implications or something, because like they've already kind of maxed out whatever the New Day can be. So it's just like a triple threat match, and the winner gets a title shot. People would really be into that, or at least I think so.
Big E is the star of the group.
Certainly.
Yes. I'm looking forward to. Do you guys think New Day is going to last? We talked about this on a podcast recently. You guys think New Day is going to last through SummerSlam, or do you think they're going to break them up before then?
Ooh.
I don't know what else they have to do, but to keep them together. I mean,
other than the tag division being kind of thin.
Right, that is true. I guess they could bring up. There's a couple nice NXT tags that they could bring up, but Raw is weird, man. It is in a weird state. It's totally relying on Taker and Goldberg and Lesnar, and like SmackDown had a full on takeover today. Like Cena Styles closed basically show A, and then Orton won the Rumble, and one of the hottest acts in Raw got eliminated by Corbin. So it's just like this was like a full on SmackDown takeover as far as I'm concerned.
Wow, that's a great point.
Yeah,
that's surprising.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, they better have something in line for Raw tomorrow night to follow this up. Otherwise, yeah, you're right. SmackDown did definitely come out looking like the better show.
Absolutely. Raw, I'm telling you, Raw's in a strange place because they're going to rely on another veteran, Triple H, to fuel another feud. So, and I would imagine that whoever ends up fighting Kevin Owens, like, I don't know, man, and he may drop that title. I'm just saying that after Mania, Raw's going to be they're going to be in this state of like, what did we just do for the last 4 or 5 months? Like now we have nothing here. Everyone's gone. Whereas SmackDown is going to be incredibly strong after Mania because if they're just crowning Bray Wyatt, and who knows what Cena and Styles are going to be doing. So if I could buy stock in SmackDown, I would certainly do it.
And who knows? You also have the Miz out there. Who knows what they're going to do with him? There's a chance for him to have a big end of the year too.
Absolutely.
Baron Corbin, I see big stuff in the future and the horizon, maybe early next year as well. He could be. I could go ahead and pick maybe him to win the Rumble next year, barring how the rest of the year goes.
No doubt. And then the Alexa Bliss thing, she's been so great, and she's not as good a wrestler as Charlotte or Bayley or Sasha Banks, but I'm more interested in her matches just because she's such a terrible little girl. And to watch her versus Becky Lynch, I want to see that. Whereas like the whole Raw's crew is just like, I've already seen it all, man. It's been a year, and I feel like they've unloaded everything, or just because I don't know. It's just like they're caught up in like, well, eventually Bayley's going to get a shot, and then eventually Sasha's going to get a shot. So they keep their talented young girls in like these holding patterns. So like the whole division freezes. Whereas SmackDown is kind of like, well, we kind of got like 2 people that are going to be in the title, and these other 2 girls are going to do their thing. But they have just done a much better job in making people care and maintaining stories. So
SmackDown is storylines. Raw is Roman Reigns.
Yes. No, I agree entirely. The SmackDown women's division is awesome. It's fresh. Alexa's great. Naomi has potential, possibly feuding with Alexa down the line. It's way more interesting than Raw, which when this brand split started, I'm sure you could go back and listen to the old podcast. We thought like, man, that Raw division for women is loaded, and SmackDown, they don't have much to work with.
Nothing. But that's what's been so interesting, because you're like, as a fan who reads stuff on the internet or just is a little coherent, you're like, okay, SmackDown has nothing. Like they have Becky Lynch, and she was the greenest of the 4 horsewomen or whatever. So that's what's been so interesting to watch, is like they've had to grow from the ground up.
Yeah. Which is exactly. That's why it's interesting, because you've had people just come into their own right in front of you, and Alexa has been probably the highlight in the women's division. I think you got Nikki coming back. Eva Marie was going to be the star, and has vanished.
They still have Eva Marie.
She was
a nuclear bomb.
I know for a fact from sources at WWE that Eva Marie was going to be the star on SmackDown. Like that was the plan.
I can't wait.
So that's still coming at you.
Well, they should trade 10,000 of her for Sami Zayn.
And she got rid of the red hair too, right?
Yeah.
So
I was going to say that.
That's whatever.
Why would you do that?
She's got to be bringing it back.
We also just got back Mickie James in the SmackDown Women's Division, which I think is a great ad.
Yeah.
She's going to be able to cut promos for Alexa Bliss. She's doing her downright crazy character that made her famous. And yeah, SmackDown is just overall, it's just the better show. When we went a couple of weeks ago, it doesn't seem like 2 hours when you're there. It really didn't seem like it. And there's only 3 matches on the card, but it was an entertaining show, and it felt like we were only there and it felt like after an hour we were done.
Yeah. No, I agree. I look forward to watching SmackDown every week, and Raw is a chore that takes me like 2 days to get through on my DVR. So
I don't even watch Raw, to be honest. Like I'll check some YouTube highlights. Maybe I like to see how the show starts. But it's a 3-hour commitment, and it's not that fun a lot. Like it's kind of punishing. So
yeah.
3 letters, buddy. DVR.
I don't have one.
I think for me, it's become so much of a part of my schedule every night. Like, all right, 7:00, start watching Raw, put some laundry in, 8:00, fold the laundry, put the towels in, or something like that. It's just part of my daily schedule just to have it on the TV.
Right.
It's just, there's so much content out there now that, it's easy to overlook Raw. You've got SmackDown, 205 Live, NXT. If you want to watch TNA, you've got Ring of Honor. You've got New Japan Pro Wrestling, which I'm starting to become a real big geek on, which is one of my favorite shows now. And there's just a lot of out there for you wrestling fans.
And Raw now, because now you can't expect Taker, Goldberg, Lesnar, Triple H to be on these shows on a regular basis. So Raw is going to get even longer per se because there's just going to be video package, or then like, and remember 2 weeks ago when Undertaker looked at Roman Reigns funny, and it's just like there's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah,
because they have to fill up that time slot by reminding you that there's these WrestleMania feuds, except they're not actually on the show.
Yeah. Well, speaking of 3 hours, you guys, I don't want to make this go 3 hours and have all of our listeners tune out. So I think we're going to wrap this up for the night. But before we do, first of all, Derek, I'm glad you joined us tonight. I'm a big fan of your podcast.
Well, thank you.
If you want to just tell our listeners where they can find you in the future.
Yeah, on Twitter at Oversell Podcast, Facebook.com/Oversell Podcast. You can follow me at Derek, DericKovErsell, and check out oversellpodcast.com and the Amazon link. It's like I do it every week.
You've done that before, I think.
Yeah.
No, it's great, man. Hopefully we can get you back on the show in the future.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. Love to. We got to do something special for WrestleMania. I'm thinking just a simul pod, or just get on and do something like this, and we'll get my buddy Mike on and we'll have a really good time.
Yes, that is in the works. We're talking about doing something special for WrestleMania, so stay tuned for that. Jack Snodgrass, always a pleasure.
Man, I loved it. I'm always happy to do it. Anytime we can get on here and just riff about wrestling, man. It's a beautiful world. No, yeah, hit me up on Twitter. I'm at Cheeky Jobbers. I write some stuff for Top Row Press. Try to do it on a consistent basis, but that's it. Yeah.
All right. And Justin, the new third man full-time here on Top Rope Nation.
I hear voices in my head, and they're telling me we're going to be okay, you marks.
All right. And I am Ryan Drosty. You can hit me up at Historical Ryan or at Top Rope Press. Once again, as always, you can check us out anywhere podcasts are available. Hey, if you're listening on iTunes, leave us a rating. Don't make me beg. We need some 5-star ratings on there. Get our listenership up. So do that. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe, support the show. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Top Rope Nation. And we will check you guys next time. Thanks.